What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about SpiderHam. Now, I just finished my final free-to-play account Necropolis run a couple of days ago, and I ended up bringing my 7-star rank 3 SpiderHam along for the ride. Not thinking he was going to do too well. I knew that SpiderHam could have some really solid damage with the burst from that special 3, 25 Porker Popper stuff, but outside of that, my expectations were pretty low. I'm happy to say that I am genuinely surprised how well SpiderHam does in this content. Now, I think him at the 7-star rank 3 level, maybe 7-star rank 2 fully boosted, is the only way you get numbers like this. I don't think a 6-star rank 5 is going to be putting up numbers quite like this. But let's just get right into it. These are just 3 fights from my live stream. This is 50% of Psycho Man, and I have 2 solos on the path, Tigra and Dragon Man. As you can see, I'm just playing into the Psycho Man nodes. I'm building up my Porker Poppers here. And the damage is kind of ridiculous. Now, I want to say right off the bat, his basic hits are pretty incredible. All of those basic hits are dealing around 13,000 damage when they crit on mediums and 8,000 damage on lights. That's a 27,000 heavy attack there. I lost the poppers there, so that's kind of unfortunate, but I'm just trying to work my way back to as many poppers as I can get on the opponent. That's what I need, and then I want to go to my special 3 and try and maintain them for as long as I can during the fight. So I didn't realize the power of SpiderHam until the earlier fight, which was Wiccan. I'm not going to show that fight because there are better fights to show where I actually know what I'm doing with SpiderHam instead of me just kind of frantically pressing buttons and hoping things work. But you're going to see that in this fight and then in the next 2 fights, which are Mystic, so I have class advantage, the damage is absurd. The amount of power sting damage that these champions are taking, ranging health pools of 6 to 8 million, is ridiculous. It's like 150,000 damage per burst at a minimum. If you have 6 or 7 Porker Poppers on the opponent, right there, that was, over 100,000 damage in just burst alone? It's crazy. And now I try to get him to throw, I think, another special 1 here. No, okay, I'm just pushing him to special 2. So something I learned about SpiderHam a long time ago that I had no idea about was that when the opponent throws a special, they take more damage proportionate to the power bar that they've used for the special attack. And that damage goes up by a percentage. I think it's 60% per bar of power. Like, there's an additional burst of damage, which is 60% of the damage that they already took as an additional power sting. So right there, that was a massive. I mean, how much health was that? He goes from 39 right here to 34. That's almost 400,000 power sting damage. That's just ridiculous. So I don't want to show the entire Psycho Man fight because it's kind of It's kind of very eh. I do want to show the Tigra fight. The Psycho Man fight's good. The Tigra fight and the Dragon Man fight are crazy. So, I will say I do get hit a lot in this fight, but SpiderHam is a tank, so it doesn't really matter that I'm getting hit. I'm using my very extended medium 1 to get the counter off of Tigra. It's a little tricky to ramp up in this fight and manage all of your I almost said spells, all of your Porker Poppers, because if you block hits when she has the orange icon up, you take Rupture right there. And if you use light attacks when she has the blue icon, your light attacks have a chance to miss. So it's a little rough. This fight can definitely be tricky, but SpiderHam actually handles it very well. So ideally, she's not throwing specials when she's dashing because the Freight Train node is giving her that indestructible passive whenever she dashes. I get special intercepted here, but a good thing about SpiderHam is per stack of nonsense, he takes less damage from special attacks. So I was actually okay, and I survived that special too. You're going to see that I survive another one. I think when the root phase turns on, I survive yet another special too. So now I'm ramped up at 25 Porker Poppers, and this special that she throws here is massive. Look at that damage. 500,000 initial burst, and then 231,000 damage on top of it. Almost 800,000 damage from that burst. She goes from 91 to 81. 10% of her health in that single special too. That is ridiculous. So now I am frantically trying to get back and pause the poppers. Unfortunately, I don't, but she still took a massive burst of damage from the remaining stacks, and now the name of the game is just maintaining as many of these stacks of poppers as I can to not have them fall off and just keep the onslaught of damage going. I can take some blocked hits, like it's not going to kill me if I block a couple of hits because the Rupture actually heals me, but the point is to not get too many up just in case I get clipped by a special attack, because that damage will certainly kill me. So I can block some hits and it's fine, but I cannot use my light attacks when she has the blue spell. It's not a spell. The blue Huntress Sense up. I cannot use my light attacks because they have a chance to miss, so I don't want to take any chances there. And then with the Huntress, I keep saying spell, with the Huntress Sense, I cannot parry too much or I get the Ruptures. So right there, I tried to go for a light attack, and of course, the first light attack misses, and I get another special 2 right to the face. Again, SpiderHam, he's a tank. So as long as you have enough stacks of spider nonsense, you are able to tank a lot of special attacks. I've even seen people tank special 3s in here with SpiderHam. It's just ridiculous. His survivability, he's just such an insane character. Just to think about, like, his damage source is direct damage. Nobody is really immune to Power Sting except for Bullseye, and you're never going to use SpiderHam against Bullseye, so that's an irrelevant matchup. He has a special damage resistance, special damage protection. He has taunt. He has debuffs which prevent healing with despair. Incredible base attack. He has an evade that's super useful for like annoying specials, and he really is just a sensational character. I so badly want him on my main account. He is my #1 new pull from the basic crystal. I still to this day do not have SpiderHam at all, so he is for sure #1 on my list from the basic, and I am hoping to one day pull him, so I am no longer jealous of my free-to-play account for having a rank 3 7-star of a character I don't even have at all on my main. So we're just about finished with this fight here. She's at 32%. I have maintained these Porker Poppers very well. Like, I have kept almost all of them from the initial special 2, and I've even built up more than what I had when she threw that first special after the special 3. So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how many poppers I'm able to keep up. But right there, I lose all of them, so I have to start from ground zero. It's not too bad because the ramp up is not atrocious, especially if you get some decent luck. You use that evade to place a Porker Popper, and you can get back in the swing of things relatively quickly. Like right here, we're right back to 5, so it's not like we lost too much momentum. It's just a little unfortunate that I had almost 20 poppers and then they were all gone in an instant. That's the trick with SpiderHam, is the maintenance. He can be a little tricky to keep going, and like right there, I lost even more of my poppers. So it's a timer game. It can be stressful in these matchups where time is against you to maintain those poppers, so you really have to be willing and able to maintain the poppers for as long as you can. And you don't have to maintain a lot of them. Like 6 to 8 is a decent amount of damage per special attack. You're going to see, I believe she throws this special with 9 or so. So that's going to be 10. And that takes her, it's even more. Okay, 12. All right, 12 is a little high for normal maintenance. But 12 takes her from 17 to 4. And we get the almost full rooted special 2 decks. I can do it rooted. I just use the evade because, hey, if I don't use it, I'm going to lose it. So I might as well. But I believe this special one is a lot more on the realistic side, where she goes from, nope, I'm thinking way far ahead. I'm trying to find a position where she actually throws it at a realistic amount of poppers. And I think this one may be it. No, this one's 11 too. No, okay. Well, I guess I keep up more than 10 poppers at one time. So what are you going to do? This is 15 poppers, I believe, or 14. Yeah, so she's gone. The normal amount, you'll see in the Dragon Man fight. I'll skip to that one right now because that's the only other SpiderHam fight. A normal amount of poppers is around 6 to 8 for like consistent maintenance. So you'll see in the Dragon Man fight here, aside from me getting clobbered, that I keep a decent amount of them up after I go for the initial special 3 ramp, and then around 6 to 8 is like the ideal number to keep up because that's the easiest number to keep up. Around that is perfect. So the damage that you're getting from that is around 1 to 2% per special attack. So still really solid numbers, you know. I think he's going to throw it here at 5. And that was, what, 2% of his health with only 5 power stings? So definitely nothing to complain about. You just, again, if you keep these up, you maintain around 6 to 8, every single special attack is going to tick them away. Power sting by power sting, they're going to go down the drain. So this special one, I think, is with 10. It's either special 1 or special 2. Oh, yeah, he throws it with the indestructible. That's the annoying thing about SpiderHam on this path is if they don't want to immediately throw that special and then they dash and then throw it, it can be annoying because the indestructible, there's no way for SpiderHam to get around that, so you just kind of have to tank it. But at a 7-star rank 3 level, you have plenty of time to, you know, build back up your poppers and not worry about losing out on damage from a couple of specials because there are plenty of opportunities, like right there, for you to just nail some consistent power sting detonations. And as long as Dragon Man's willing to play ball, you know, you're going to get some serious damage from this guy. So we're going for the special 3 once again. I just kind of take a break before going to throw it off, and that burst right there. Look at this number. All right, so he's at 88% health, 33 power stings. Now you can see it. Can you? Okay, right here. 577,000 damage, and then an additional 303,000 damage. Let's round up and call that 900,000 damage from Power Sting. The best part is he still has 26 poppers, so if I can pause these, that damage is just going to stay consistently high. So I'm intentionally blocking hits during the special 2, so I don't have to worry about, you know, if I get the full dex and then I miss out on an inch of power, that's going to feel really bad. So I do go for the full dex occasionally, but for the most part, I am just blocking because all of that power that I need is going to push me to my next special 1, and that is, you know, that's the key to the kingdom right there. Unfortunately, I lost those stings, but we took him down almost 20% health, oh no, over 20% health in that one special 3 loop. So even if you just want to go for special 3 and then a couple of special 1s or special 2s, you can get down Necro opponents with SpiderHam in like 2-ish, 3-ish revives if you really needed to do it. If he, for some reason, was your main clearing champion, he could actually do quite a bit of work. Like, I think he'd be great for Nova. I think he'd be great for a lot of the other paths on the initial easy path, like Airwalker, I feel like he'd actually be pretty solid for because of the passive power gain. And I think I could definitely solo Psycho Man if I wanted to go back and try it, because he took off 50% of him, and I still had charges left in the... I almost said Abyssal charge. I still had charges left in the Necropolis timer when I killed Psycho Man at the 50% threshold. So right there, like, look at this damage. Right here, this special 2... at 9 poppers is 3%, basically 4%, because I think I'm going to hit him here, and he's going to go to 4% in this combo after the indestructible. Yeah, right there. So it ticks him down to 49. So that was basically 4% of his health with 9 poppers. So, like I said, that sweet spot for ideal maintenance is around 6 to 8 once you go for the special 3. Obviously, the more you can keep, the better. But ideal maintenance is around this number right here, because this number is going to deal a very consistent amount of damage. See, that's 1% right there. Basically 2, because the next couple of combos are going to push him down to 1. Yeah, see? So from 43 to 41 after one combo. The damage is super consistent, and SpiderHam, like I mentioned, he is a little tricky to maintain. There's just a lot going on, and the Porker Poppers don't have the longest of duration. Although, if you're running the 6-star Ant-Man Relic, it is a lot easier to maintain the poppers because the power sting duration gets increased. Additionally, the Ant-Man Relic applies an additional power sting when you use the Striker, so there's no other relic you want to be using on SpiderHam. It is Ant-Man or bust. Do not use any other relic on Ham unless you don't have any other relic. In which case, of course, you know, use whatever relic you have. But Ant-Man is the absolute way for SpiderHam. There is no better option. It is just built for him, really. The additional power sting triggers, the power sting duration increase, it literally is just made for the piggy. So we're coming to the end of this fight here, and we're still within the first set of Necropolis charges. We are not in the root yet, and I don't even know if we get to the root at all in this fight. If the Indestructible wasn't in play, this fight would very likely be over already because there were some serious bursts of damage where Dragon Man had, over 10 power stings, but he was indestructible, so none of the damage counted. So if I was on a different trap node, like the combo ending trap node or the dexing trap node, this would go a lot faster. Definitely a lot faster. I think if you do the no dex trap node, you could actually get this fight done the fastest out of any node because you want to block the specials for the most part anyway, so there's no real need for the node's interference because you're already blocking the specials to gain the most amount of power, Like right here, you just go for the parry, gives you that ever so slightly additional bit of power, and that allows me to get up to my special one and pause the poppers, and it's just a vicious cycle of repetitive, non-stop damage. The power stings are so strong, especially with class advantage, and of course the 7-star stats making SpiderHam just incredible. I know Kabam Crashed or John has mentioned that SpiderHam and America Chavez are some of the characters that really got revitalized because of their 7-star release, and I could not agree more. As the owner of a rank 3 America Chavez on both of my accounts and a rank 3 Ham on my free-to-play account, I can absolutely attest to the fact that these characters are ridiculous at the 7-star level. They're amazing at their 6-star level, but the 7-star stats, the challenger rating, the stat focus, all of those things combined just makes these characters so insane. So we are rounding off this fight here. Dragon Man has 10% health left, and we're going to be finishing him off pretty soon here. I think I go for another pause and then just a couple of more pauses after that, and I try to maintain as many poppers as I can just to finish him off so I don't have to worry about getting clipped and maybe he hits me with a special, but he doesn't die because of the poppers, and then I die. Just trying to get him down as quickly as possible at this point because we're at the end of the fight. So yeah, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know if this video opened your eyes a little bit to the idea of SpiderHam in the Necropolis. I think he's one of the most underrated options in the 10-year pool, so I'm very curious to see people using him, if people end up using him, and how they feel about using him. Maybe they're going to use him in matchups I didn't think of, so I'd love to see that if that happens. But yeah, make sure to hit the like button, everybody. Subscribe if you have not already. We are going for 40,000 subscribers in the new year, and hopefully by the end of the new year, we can hit 50,000. So thank you all very much for watching. We just hit the final Necro thing, and then we get the root, so there was plenty more runway to go with SpiderHam there. But yeah, again, thank you all very much for watching. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share this video if it helped you out. Maybe it's going to help somebody else out if you do that. So yeah, much love, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.